friends, welcome back to a new video, and welcome if you are new. As you could have seen by the title of this video, we are not decorating in today's video. No, we're not. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna tell you in a minute, but first let's enjoy this pretty white butterfly here. How pretty. But yes, like I said, no decorating. In today's video, I am going to assemble a electrical bike. It is a 36 kilogram white bike that I'm going to show you how I put together piece by piece and bit by bit. I decided to also timer this because I really wanted to know how much time it would take me to do this all by myself, and I started at 2:26 p.m. as from the unboxing. Now, before we continue, I want to give a big shout out and a big thanks to the DYU team for sponsoring today's video and for having so much patience with me for making this video, because as you are going to see, this video was made over 3 seasons: the summer, the fall and the winter season. And that is purely because time was not on my side, you guys, and when it was, the weather wasn't, so it took me quite some time to put this video together. But let's talk more about this bike. When they reached out to me, I was over the moon because I saw this bike on YouTube and I thought it was so cute, and I got the C6 city bike, as you can see here. And first of all, it was so well packed when it arrived, and the package also contained every tool that you need to assemble this bike. And also the bike came with a lock. Now that's the only downside of it, because this was a separate lock, not one of those locks that are attached to the bike. I would have rather seen it come with a lock attached to it rather than a separate lock, but hey, it is complete. Now, as easy as it was to put this bike together, I do think that the manual that came with it is not sufficient. So I had to go online to see if I could find a better video on how to assemble it, especially how to mount the front wheel, because well, the manual that came with it, it just didn't show correctly how to assemble that. And even with the video, I didn't get it right the first time, nor the second time. I think I got it right the third time. But anyway, it is, like I said, so easy to put together. And the way that the bike can stand by itself on its forefork here, that is such an ideal situation, because that really makes that you can assemble this all by yourself and you do not need extra pair of hands. Now, this video is by no means a tutorial on how to assemble this bike, because simply I'm not good at tutorials. I'm not good at explaining how to do something, so I'm not gonna do that. I will leave the link of the video that helped me mount the front wheel, because with the bike it also comes with a QR code to a video. That is actually the manual. It doesn't have a paper or a hard copy manual, but it has a video manual. And I will link the video that I used that helped me mount the front wheel, because the manual by itself, the DYU manual, is perfect for assembling the bike, like I said, except for the front wheel. Now, while I'm assembling this bike, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this bike, because, well, first things first, you guys, if you saw my video, not past fall, but the fall before that, I shared with you how I ride my bike to work. And I absolutely love that in the summer and in the fall. It is such a pretty ride that I have. But there are some parts of my route that are pretty tough. And you guys, I've seen people passing me so fast on their bikes. You know that Holland is, I think, maybe one of the biggest biking nations, I think, We're not a big nation, no, we're a small country, but I think everyone here rides a bicycle. Now, before we continue, I thought it would be fun to share with you a few fun Dutch bicycle facts. And like I said, people were passing me by so fast, and I had a hard time keeping up. And I really wanted an electrical bike, and then a DYU reached out to me, and the timing couldn't be better because into the fall, when it gets darker, I had to ride through the woods, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that, especially when it was dark. But with this bike, I have perfect lighting and it goes so much faster, you guys. It really does make my ride so much more pleasant. And here is where I actually went wrong, because when I wanted to mount the headlight, it looked like I had assembled this wrong. I thought it was the front wheel that I had on backwards, but it was actually the forefork here. So I have to remove the front wheel and actually turn the front fork, but I have to take off the steering wheel first to do that. And even though everything was extremely well packed, the front fender came with a crack, and I was so bummed out about that, because after I finished assemble the bike, I took it for a little test ride, and the front bender kept scratching the front wheel, so I couldn't ride it actually. I had to go back to DYU to ask them to send me another one, and the service was amazing because they replaced it in a jiffy. Now, you're probably not gonna believe this, but mounting this basket was actually the most difficult part, because reaching the screws were very difficult, and the tools that I got with the bike wasn't enough, so I had to use my own tools. And here it is, all done and ready to ride. Now, this took me about a little less than 2 hours. Here you see 4:15 p.m. But I actually took a little break of, I think, 30 minutes to get some lunch. So I think altogether it took me an hour and a half to assemble this bike. Now, as you can see here, you have to remove the saddle if you wanna take out the battery. And this goes so easy, you guys. They really thought of everything on this bike. And I really love actually that you can remove the saddle so easy, so you can adjust it to your own height. Very simple as well. My previous bike that I had was very difficult to do so. So yeah, here I'm putting it in the shed, and I'm gonna go inside now. So I've taken the battery pack inside to charge it because I didn't want to leave it in the shed where I cannot see it. They say it has to charge for 4 to 6 hours. Now this is the power adapter, and it flashes green when the battery pack is fully charged. So I'm going to insert it now, and this will turn red. So I'm gonna stick it in here, and then you can see that it turns red. So it is charging now. I don't see anything on here, so I'm going to leave it for 6 hours to see if it's fully charged. Believe it or not, it was about a month later, I think 5 weeks, that I was actually able to film this piece, you guys. In between that time, I did go to work with the bike, and as you can see, I have my bike bags mounted so I can carry my laptop with me, or when I go do groceries, I can put my groceries in the bags. And you guys, this bike is amazing. It rides so nice, but I do have to say that it does take some knowledge to ride an e-bike, something that they don't tell you unless maybe when you buy the bike at an official bike store, at an official e-bike store. But for instance, how to use the gears, that is something I didn't know how to use. And in the beginning, I thought I wasn't using the bike properly, and it didn't ride as well as I thought it should ride. So that is definitely something to think about and ask around if you want to ride an e-bike. Now, this e-bike has a small battery, so that means it doesn't go really far on one battery. I will leave all the information in my description box below so you can check that out. But if you're looking for a bike for short trips to do just around your home, doing groceries, commute to work, stuff like that, for a range of 50 to 60 kilometers, then this bike is just perfect for that. Yes. And here we are 2 months later, you guys, and as you can see, we had a little bit of snow, but it was really short while it lasted, because after 3 days it was all gone. Now here is the bike again. Now I really wanted to take some time to tell you more about the features of this bike, so that's why it took a little bit longer to film this part. So as you can see, I have my bike bag on it, and I've been using it quite a lot until the winter really kicked in. But I really want to tell you more about the features of this bike. First of all, it does come with a lock, but that lock is too short, so I had this longer one, and it's also for the time being because I want to have a more safer lock. And the other thing is that it doesn't really have its own lock. So one time I went grocery shopping and I didn't have my lock with me, so I couldn't lock the bike, so I had to go back home to get my lock. So that's a downside. Now these bags is something that I already had, so yeah. Well, what I want to show you are the features. Like I said, I put up my phone holder here, but I'm going to change that out. Now these buttons here are for the light, as you can see, and this is for the horn. And on the right side we have, as you can see, I still have the protector on it here. I need to take that off, but anyway, here we have the gears, and this knob here, you gear up, so you go from 1 to 6. As you can see, it has 6 gears, and with this knob here you gear back. And here what you have is the display of the battery power, and this is the power button to turn it on and off. And you guys, what I love about this is these handles. Your palm can really rest on here for long rides. And another feature that it has is a throttle here. You can put this on full throttle and the bike will ride by itself up to 25 kilometers an hour. But what I noticed about this bike is that the first 4 gears, when I put it in the first 4 gears, I cannot keep up with the assistant, so only in the 5th and the 6th. So I'm not too sure if I'm doing it correctly or not. So another thing is the light here. What I love about this, it is very big and bright, so you are very visible at night and during the day. I don't really care much about this basket because it looks too plasticky for me, and the color, I don't like it, but it does help out when my bags are full. I can put some other stuff in here as well. Now we move to the back, and we have here the backlight, and maybe I can show you if I turn it on and see. As you can see here, it is on now, and this is the way you turn it off. So let's turn it on, and I can also show you the front light. It is on, as you can see. And well, the one on the back is manually, so it doesn't go on and off with the switch, but you have to turn it on manually, and it has a steady light and a blinking light. So you can choose whatever suits you. I always have it on steady. So yeah, you guys, these are the features, and I do have to say, now I haven't ride my bike that much, so I'm going to be taking out the battery and keep it inside so that the condition will stay good. So that is all, you guys. This is the DYU C6 city bike. I am in love with this bike. It is such a pretty bike, and it is so convenient for me to do my groceries, a commute to work. It really does make my life so much easier. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you found this video useful and that I was able to give you some more insight on this bike. And I want to take this time to thank DYU again for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in my next one. Bye.